Welcome, Atlanta United family, to another weekly episode of Resurge The Spike ATL. Here with our co-host Tommy and myself. James was not able to be here, but hopefully he'll be here next week. Eventually. But before we get to anything, as usual, go follow Tommy. Let's go Ducks 96. Hashtag let the pain stop. And also don't forget to go follow Fila Sports Podcast. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Go give us a follow and share it to our content. So um you know it's been a tragic week for Atlanta United, honestly, like in every single aspect, like on and off the field as well. Like, I mean, first you start off with, well, not first, but the
You got to
Miles
go
that
backwards. You're skipping things. You're skipping things,
dude,
man.
I just forgot the
We got to
banner
talk
about.
about the game.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But I mean, like the Portland game, I mean, it was just man, to me,
It's
like
2022.
I was watching it, man, and I just feel like we like look like a team that like definitely was like lacking everything, just like an identity, lack of like hunger to like win the game. And I mean, there are so many things that just go into the team, like just being kind of in a poor like a poor like state of mind right now. I mean, I just don't think that they're in the set of mind that I think that Pineda came out and said that, oh, he came out and talked to the team that they're in the position where they can still make the playoffs, even though things are not as good as they seem. But yet again, Pineda is just, I mean, Ted Lasso 2.0.
It's a combination at this point of everything. I think some of it does have to do with Pineda. Some of it has to do with uh, Boca. Some of it has to, and a lot of it has to do with the players overall. A lot of these players have still had opportunities to show themselves throughout the season. They've had plenty of scoring chances and they haven't been able to finish. So you can't just say that it's one part. We could say some of it is on Pineda, and I don't disagree. But there seems to be a lack of accountability for some of these players. And you can go back to early in the season where there were guys that just had endless scoring opportunities, right? Like that, there was that span of games where they had like 30 scoring chances in the game and they couldn't score one. And it just hasn't gotten better. We obviously have scored some goals since then, but ultimately this team should have a lot more goals, in the goals for you know line. I can't even. This day has just been something with this team. Should we
Not
just
just
get
the
to
day,
it?
man. Like the past 3 days, honestly, or 3, 4 days or so, it's been like nothing but drama and just constant news that us as fans don't really want to hear, honestly, or that we wouldn't think that we were gonna get to this point, a few years back.
Well, yeah, you're right. Let's just skip the game. Joseph scores a goal. Great, fantastic, awesome. Team looked uninspired. Next disaster. Are we going Miles next?
Um, I think we'll leave the Miles situation for later, but I mean, I think we'll hit the Joseph part next, because it was literally what happened after the like right after the Portland game. He technically gets suspended for a week and will not be available against Toronto, which, I mean, is a huge blow. Not only given the fact that you're playing at home and that you would think that he would be at least playing some minutes in the second half, given the fact that Pineda has benched him for like the last couple of games. I specifically, or I mean, details haven't really come out whether what really like caused what the whole altercation between him and Pineda, but you have to kind of like figure and like think that it's maybe the playing time that he's getting, right? I mean, there's no other thing. I mean, he's already pointed out the rest of the team, earlier this year, and talking about how there was players that were just not playing for the shirt and everything, and now he's basically going personally, like towards Pineda or whatever the situation was. And I mean, you just kind of gotta be like, all right, well, now what the hell, man, like what the fuck?
Well, let's start back from the beginning, right? So Joseph has gotten into it with pretty much every coach that he's had. Tata was no different. He walked out. There were stories that came out that he walked out of practice multiple times on the team with Tata there. He also had locker room, halftime blow-ups on the team if they were playing bad. Those stories have been out there for a long time. Frank DeBoer, he went off on him for a while, and then it definitely produced something positive because the team started playing completely different, I think, after that big blow up and they started playing offense. Then you've got the Heinze situation where he basically said it's me or Heinze, and Atlanta choose Joseph. And now you have this. And first off, everybody loves chicken and rice. If you don't like chicken and rice, I don't. I mean, it must have been pretty bad. But you look at the situation, and he's got to be frustrated with the playing time. But the question is can he play? He might think that he's able to play those 60 minutes, but maybe the coaching staff just isn't seeing it. I know they're big on sports analytics, and I don't know. They're obviously seeing some things. There's been some comments that he's made throughout. Pineda's made some comments over the past couple of weeks that he's playing the guy that can give 60 minutes, which makes me think that potentially he can't do it. I mean, it's the same thing with Dom Dwyer. Everybody's been begging for Dom Dwyer, and I don't know if Dom can play that. I mean, he's only played what?
Probably like 45 minutes tops. I mean, I don't think that he's even came in the half, or has he, like in some
first game of the season when Araujo got hurt. And I think there was one other time, and I don't remember why. But I know that, I mean, the first game was like about it. So you have to think that there's some type of just fitness issue with him, which is interesting because we have him for next year as well. It was a 2-year contract.
Yeah.
So we've got another guy that's just basically, I mean, potentially you've got two guys sitting on your two strikers that can only play like 25, 30 minutes a game.
And then Cisneros, who's like, I mean, basically, I mean, he's
the backup. Like, that's what he is. And
yeah,
at the end of the year, you look at it and say, this was probably the best backup to Joseph that you've had ever, right? Like, I know he's gone, he's hot and cold.
Goal-wise,
you've never even had anybody that was warm behind Joseph, ever. Like, you've never had a guy that was even decent. Maybe Adam John got a header, or Kubo. No, Kubo didn't do
nothing. Come on, man.
I mean, you've got nothing. So yes, I'm thankful that Cisneros came in, produced a little bit, but that he's a backup. Like, also, it was worth a shot. He did what he was supposed to do for some games, but he's not the future. I don't even think we were really paying his salary. I think he was just loaned out to us, and they were paying his salary. So whatever, it is what it is, but it's not there. But we've been talking about, Joseph, and you need to see what you have with him. And I've been saying it, and I think James said it too, and you said it. Like, we need to see what he can do for the rest of the season. Can he play 60 minutes? I don't know. Let's see. Maybe they're afraid that this is going to hurt his stock in the future. That was the only thing I could think of. Like, you go put Joseph out there for 60 minutes for the rest of the season, he's completely terrible. Maybe you're ruining any type of trade capital that you have with them. But Joseph looks real good when he's playing 25 minutes and he scores a goal almost each time. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of completely off the wall things that we haven't really thought about here. But I've seen the arguments. Why would you suspend Joseph over this? I'm sorry, but if you get into a supposedly physical altercation with your coach and you're coaching a very young team, it looks bad when you don't. And it probably is easier that one, Joseph isn't playing well. I mean, he's playing okay, but like he's not a superstar like he was before. You're not making the playoffs. You're pretty much out of the playoffs at this point. And you've already got a very bad rep with the front office, and we don't like the front office, so I don't really care about that part. But
I mean, like the first thing that you touched was like the physical aspect, and I definitely see that playing a factor here because I mean, I even tweeted this out like during like right after Joseph scored, and like there was a replay where he was running back to the half line, and I mean the guy looked absolutely gassed. I mean, I don't know if it was just me that got that impression personally, but I mean, he just looked like he was absolutely like just winded. I mean, just and I mean, it hadn't been 15, 20 minutes since he had came in. I mean, and definitely, and I mean, I think that that's a huge factor, for him not just being the starter. And I don't know, this is definitely, and we've talked about this, many times that these decisions are eventually going to fall down to whoever the new president is, and it's just I feel like there's so many things, man, on the plate, for Atlanta United this offseason that literally determines whether we're, stuck being a mediocre team like how we've been the past 2, 3 years. And I mean, I'm just talking about result wise, because I mean, you could argue that, the quality that we had this year is definitely better than we had the previous 2 years. So um, I mean, it's just a matter of results. I mean, like the opportunities are there. We just never are able to capitalize, or we have like this individual mistake, on defense, and it just ruins the game, literally.
it's been a disaster all year. Individual mistakes, mistakes by the front office. Um, it's been wild. It's been a ride all season, and it's just emotionally exhausting. When that came out today, it didn't change my mind how I felt about Joseph. I still feel if this team wants to move forward, they have to go without him. And people like giving up on Joseph. How could you say that? Like it's Joseph Martinez. Just watch the man. Watch the man play. Like, yeah, he has moments of brilliance, but like you said, he's exhausted. And it's going you're you need DPs to produce right now, right? Who's our 3 DPs? You've got Almada, who's playing very well. He doesn't score goals,
Araujo is just average. I mean,
which is the question. You've seen this multiple times. If he played for another team, would he be better? I don't know.
I feel like he would. I mean, there's just I feel like just the tactical aspect of like playing with certain players that just play like like similar. They don't really play in the same position, but I mean that's why I think like Moreno. I mean, and it was just the most obvious one that he was like the most out of sync with like everybody else in the offense, in my opinion. And I mean, I don't think that in the same in the same aspect, with Araujo, I think that at times like he just seems like he just wants it like like more personal. I think that he's not really playing for the team. Yeah, he's gotten an assist here and there, but there seems times where he's just like more cocky and like just wants to take a shot from outside the box. And whether you have a better option or in a 2v1, and he just takes the shot, and I mean you just got to look for the better option, man.
What changed with Moreno? What do you think? What do you think the big difference was from last year to this year? Because the criticisms of Moreno were thin. There wasn't many of them, right? We didn't see a
Last
lot
year,
of.
no, I don't think that. Yeah, there was much criticism for him because he was definitely like top three players for us.
Scored a lot of goals, made some nice plays overall. So what do you what do you think the difference is from Moreno last year to this year?
The decision making, I mean, the final pass, like whether he decides to dribble or like there's like certain aspects, like whether he just kind of like seems to get himself in like the toughest situation that he has to, whether to like play simple, and he just decides to, do something that, I mean, yeah, sometimes he's shown the quality that he's able to pull that off, but I mean, this season he's just been, I mean, I don't want to say in the poor like level, but I mean he's gotten benched. So at this point, I mean, what can you expect, or what can you really say about him, honestly?
I think one of the questions we got asked on Twitter Spaces is what player, I think it was, or maybe it was a podcast. Everything's just mixing in. Is what player has gotten better under Pineda?
Dude, that's actually a really good question.
I don't
Like,
remember if we talked about it there or if we
no,
talked
you
about it on
you guys
here.
must have definitely talked about it. Like, I think the last two Twitter Spaces I actually been like kind of like absent because the
I
last one I was
I
at.
wish I was absent sometimes. I mean, I was this week, but like it's
But no, that's a really good question, man. What player has gotten better? Fuck.
now remember under let's think about Frank de Boer, right? What player got better under Frank de Boer? Can you name someone?
Miles.
Yes, exactly. Miles Robinson on a Frank de Boer that wanted to um, prioritize defense. Miles became it, where Tata wouldn't give him a chance. So that's a huge point. Like that made him better. With Heinze, I don't know. I think it was too short of a time period to really
Yeah.
evaluate that. Sosa was definitely better, uh, at least early on. I mean, we don't know. I mean, he got hurt.
Well, I mean, he was healthier. I mean, he hadn't, come from a surgery or whatever, but I definitely think that, given a different, I don't know, like a different approach to like how the team plays, I think that he definitely can be like that game changer as well in the midfield for Atlanta United.
So I don't know. I a couple weeks ago, there's been we were talking about Pineda out. I'm starting to lean towards it's not really about Pineda, it's just about a clean a clean just a complete turnover of everything at this point. And you've got a couple guys to hold over the locker room. You've got a Guzan, which we still don't know if he's going to be what he's going to be next year. Um, I don't know how
You
many years
got
he's left
Gootman.
on
I
his
feel like
contract.
he's Gootman. I feel like he's like a real vocal voice. I feel like, or that would be eventually in the locker room.
Yeah, and really wasn't even going with that, to be honest. I was going basically with like the main guys that have been here for a long time. And I think that if you have a Miles and a Guzan there to hold down the veterans of this team and what Atlanta United's all about, I think you're okay. Then you add in hopefully an Almada and a Gutman, and you obviously can't get rid of everybody. You're going to have to keep some of these people. Sadich, who has overall for what he's paid and what he is, and he's a good fill-in guy, right? There's some guys here that you can definitely hold on to and continue so you're not completely starting over. But the biggest decision of this entire year is basically
The
getting rid of
Spoka stick.
Bocanegra and this president. Like you have there is at this point in time, whoever's taking over this team as the president have to understand how the fan base feels. They have to understand what Boca's done. And I have always not been a complete Boca out person. I've always been at least the one that feels like bring up the
Give him a
positives.
chance.
Bring the positives of what he has done, and he has done a decent amount.
No, he there's definitely been like, it's been like what, like 30% like good, or like what we I don't want to say 40%,
Maybe
'cause
35. Maybe like there's some good things that he's done, and there's just been some silly things. And recently, some of these moves that we have, like especially like the Ibarra, like that wasn't on him. He let the coaching staff bring in who they wanted. So obviously we got the Sosa, we got the Ibarra, we got the Eric Lopez thing was before Heinze, so that's a whole other shitstorm. But you've got, there's been some good things like the Gutman, like obviously masterclass what he did with that entire process, getting him, loaning him out, bringing him back, like that's all good. But you just need you need something new. And if someone comes in and they want to keep Pineda for one more year, I'm fine with that. Because they're still saying that the president they don't want to sign a president until probably late December. So Boca's going to be here for a lot of these decisions, right? Like, I don't know what players what they have to decide on at the end of the season, but he's going to have to make some decisions here because we're running out of time. We've got basically a month left until our season's over, right?
Basically.
So if they don't bring someone in ASAP, and and if they're not a technical director and they've got to go and hire someone as a technical director, Boca's going to be making some of these decisions for early offseason stuff. So it's scary. I don't think we're going to see the moves that we want until probably the summer next year. I just don't think that they can get in enough time to be able to move all of these guys. You have one buyout, and your one buyout is probably going to be Eric Lopez.
Chris killed me with this comment just now. Booker for president, Pineda for first.
Oh Lord.
I mean, like, what? I mean, I want to ask the people on here as well. Like, what is the realistic? Like, how realistic is it that these guys are gone in the off season? And like, I mean, you as well, homie. Like,
Players or staff?
The Pineda and Boca. I mean, you just personally said that you would wish him to stay another year. Obviously because of like the circumstances that have happened this year and all. But just if whoever comes in as president, that's the big factor, and how fast they're able to get him, or pick the guy. Or I mean, I personally don't think that they got anybody like narrowed down, or I don't know, man. I mean, I don't work in the front office or anything, but I just think that everything was kind of like bum rush, and I don't think that it was something that Atlanta United had kind of like in mind that they were basically going to come after Darren Eales.
Well, so I think you might take one thing out of context. So I would say, as far as Boca goes, I would say there's probably less than a 20% chance he's here. That's just my opinion. I think it's under 20%. If you want to say Pineda, with the timing of how everything's going, I would say there's probably an 80% chance that Pineda's here for one more year. Because if you got someone coming in December, finding a new coach, prepping for the offseason, and things don't work out and you don't get that guy, then you just don't have a coach. It could be a problem. So I think that you have to keep Pineda if you don't have that president, unless the president's got a coach in his back pocket that's not currently working and he knows he could bring him in immediately. I just don't see that happening. What's the worst that can happen? We suck again.
Yeah.
But I think that with the timing of how everything's here and how Atlanta is taking their time with this decision, you're not going to have time to make all the changes that we want, the fans.
Yeah.
And we want a lot. We want a lot of change, right? And I'm fine with them taking time with it, as long as we get the right guy. But that summer transfer window, I'm expecting something very similar to what Toronto did this summer, and make a lot of changes. You could probably, you've got to use your one buyout this offseason. Absolutely. You're going to have to figure out who you're going to buy out there. Who knows? Maybe you can get Joseph to mutually terminate the contract. Maybe he hates it so much here he wants out. Like, that's the dream right now. Like, you get nothing for him, but you free up the DP spot. Maybe he just wants out so much. Maybe he doesn't want to play for Pineda that doesn't want to start him, and they just mutually agree. Like, I think that's legal. I think we saw Toronto do that, right? With one of their players. They just mutually terminated the contract. So if you could do something like that, cool. Like, and that doesn't take up your buyout, okay. Like, do something like that. It's MLS, man. Like, a roster spot is worth more than what you're probably getting in return of nobody's taking Joseph likely, unless there's just some team that wants a big name player on their roster and maybe think that they could change it, whatever. Even if you do, you're going to get a very minimal amount. But again, you get someone that comes in here and they have the ability to add potentially at least one DP to it. That's big. And I'm still at the point where if it's Aruju, long as he's got a lot of talent, right? And he's obviously, you might lose a little bit on him, but if you can get close to your money back, I would get rid of Aruju as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that he's one of like the guys that just seems like he's out of place. Like, the talent is there. It's just like the system that he's playing and it's just not working for him. And Silk, is bringing a good point. I think that, he's saying that, but in my opinion, the players don't look like they're happy with Pineda as a manager. And I mean, definitely, I mean, Joseph seems to be one of those guys. I mean, apparently, because I don't think that with all the I mean, we've known that he's had his heated moments with other managers, but it never came to like a physical aspect until now. So,
I mean, Joseph, there's been stories of Joseph throwing stuff in the locker rooms. I mean, that was there with Tata. I've heard a conversation with Parkhurst and Lorenowitz, I think, on Five Strip Final. Like, that was something that they've talked about. Like, Joseph's had his outbursts in locker rooms before, and that was when they were good. So, like, they were winning at those times. Like, at this point, it's just ridiculous on just everything that we've had to endure this offseason. But I don't know. This is. I think that this is. I keep saying, like, oh, this is going to be one of the biggest off seasons. I've been taking it. I'm starting to think realistically, and think that it's not going to be the biggest off season. I think that this next up and coming year, with the new president, you can potentially change some things, but it's gonna take a year, I think, to fully get everybody out. If besides the DPs and the situation, I would say the number one player that I would get out of this team is Rossetto. He's my top-notch guy. It's not a DP that's got to get moved out. I think he hasn't done anything since he's been here. His salary's
would you argue about the same about Alan Franco? I mean, like, you think that we could get a better defender for less money that Atlanta United is playing for him?
I agree, but I'd rather get rid of Rossetto.
No, I mean, definitely. I mean, but like, just given the circumstances, say, like he decides that he just doesn't want to be in or whatever, but just
put it up. Put the comment up real quick. Yeah, right. Extreme.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it just in the defensive aspect, like, I feel like Alan Frank was not that big of, but just not that good of a defender for what Atlanta United are paying for, honestly. And just I don't know, maybe just something happens in the off season, and then just you try to bring in new ideas, and with I think maybe it just takes like a drastic change, in mentality when it comes to like how things are done, the transfers and stuff. Because I mean, there's been some rumors and stuff going around whether, some players could have, actually stayed with Atlanta United after that 2019 season. And I mean, it's just kind of dumb, just why get rid of players that were kind of like key to how the system worked, or even like vital substitutes that Atlanta United brought in that 2019 season, and they worked out pretty well. Justin Merrim being one of those guys. I mean, he was one of those guys that I would definitely love to have kept around. uh but it just shows like we or I mean, whoever has been making these decisions has been kind of like taking this more of like the business side. And I get it, it is a business, but I mean, you got to look at it in the sporting way, and you, you got to do whatever it takes to win, man. And you got to make some moves that, Atlanta United like literally has all the money to make all the moves that they possibly can, whether it comes to coaching and players. And obviously, player wise, we got the most expensive roster in MLS, but yet again, we can't, get positive results away from home. One away win literally all year. I mean, how pathetic is that for like the most expensive team in MLS?
I hear the most expensive team in MLS and all the transfer fees, and I I don't remember what I was listening to, but I remember someone saying like it's kind of an overrated stat. Like I understand, like there's a salary cap and there's only 3 players. Like transfer fees, I understand, but really, there's only 3 guys like that have crazy salaries that are counting towards your cap. Like everyone else is pretty close to whatever it is. And I know we obviously have 3 U22s, and they came very pricey. But I don't know. I look at that stat sometimes, and I'm just I don't know. It doesn't do what it used to for me. I guess. Um, but in the end, MLS is a DP league, and you need your DPs to produce. And you could tell me about the system, Ariel, that it for Aruju, maybe in a better system, but he had an opportunity. He should have scored on that goal against Portland in the first half. It was him 1-on-1. Maybe there was a guy closing in on him. He should have scored that goal. And it didn't. And then I think Cisneros just totally missed it, and he had the rebound and then just shanked it out, to the right of the post. But like Aruju should have scored that goal. There's been a lot of times this season where we said Aruju should have scored that goal. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a system thing. That's just him. That's just not him finishing. And we got really impressed last season on what he did in a very short time span. But I'm pretty sure when we looked at his stats when he first came into the league, he didn't have a lot of scoring. I don't think he scored a lot of goals prior to coming into Atlanta United. I might be wrong, and I'm sure Zilf. Oh, Bo's here. What's up, Bo?
Hey man, first time we got Bo on here.
Yeah, but like, it's I don't know. He hasn't done when he's had the opportunities. He hasn't. Jesus, this last comment by Josh, Lord Almighty. Jesus. Wow, that one really just stunned me. Put it out. Just put it out. just put it out. Jesus.
All of a sudden, like literally, we got like 10 comments like coming in.
It broke me. That one broke me. It's
I mean,
I
from
gotta
how
pay
surprised
attention.
that he looked, honestly, I think that it was a 10 definitely. But from the fan, from oh Lord, from the fan point of view or whatever, man, it was just really, bro. You're gonna get like a like not just from like the establishment itself, but like from the police officer, like, bro, you really gonna arrest somebody over a $5 shot? Come on, man.
It's crazy. So Aruju's highest scoring season was 5 goals. Okay, cool. I mean, all right. Like, I don't know. I mean, he hasn't gotten better. Like, he's taken a huge decline this year. I'd say if you get your money back, you move it. There's going to be someone that's going to come in here, hopefully, that has a completely different vision for the squad. And I would prefer someone to come in and make those decisions. Um, and that was the biggest part that's upset me over the years with Boca, is he's brought in these DPs, and granted, he brought in Moreno, and he was able to immediately buy him down, and then we immediately lowered Franco as well out of the DP spot. Like, that's great, but Aruju was also a guy that I am sure that wasn't on Pineda. Like, I'm sure they made that decision without Pineda. So it's a mixture, I guess, because we just said that Pineda, or that Boca listened to Heinze and brought in basically all the U22 spots for what he wanted. So I it's a mixture of like, okay, you have done this, but I get a feeling when Boca leaves, there's going to be a lot more stories out there. And I've been saying this about our season as well. Like, we're going to find out more about Joseph. We're going to be more about this. But if Boca leaves, I am sure there's some stories that Felipe, that Doug have, that's going to. Yes, and that was my point, Zilf, is that Pineda wasn't the coach. Like, they brought in a DP without really discussing with the coach about what he wanted. And I think we're going to find out a lot about Boca. And I've been starting to think about just a little bit more of the MLS back tournament, of Boca talking to the players during that game. Like, was it their last game of the tournament where they also scored no goals? But you just go back. Like, I want to go back when Boca's gone, and I'm still hoping that it is, and read all the articles that have come out, all the things about Boca, right? And I think it's all going to make sense at the end when more stories start coming out after he's gone. Like, that he has too much of a hold on this team, and I think that I think Pineda is someone that works for Boca because he could tell Boca what to do, and he doesn't have that strong personality, right? Like, Heinze had a strong personality and said what he wanted. Pineda's a new coach. I highly doubt Pineda comes in and throws, something in Boca's office and says, "I need this player today." You're on mute.
And do you even think that that's the reason why Heinz didn't, even like lasted as long as he lasted? Because I mean, like even all the Watergate, stories that came out and everything. But yet again, I mean, there was just like two like big temperament or like two big personalities, basically, just clashing. And obviously, when you have somebody that's in a higher position than the other one, that kind of plays a big factor into it.
I don't know. I don't know about that whole situation. It seems like there's a lot of information there that was never confirmed. I mean, people argued that Tata got fined for some illegal practice things as well. Um, they were also upset that he wasn't fan friendly. What did they do immediately when they got rid of Heinze? They immediately started doing fun videos again with the players. Players were able to interview. There's a lot. this franchise has been going downhill since the minute Joseph got hurt. And we have to thank Joseph Martinez because we got an extra year without it going downhill. Because if you don't have Joseph that year, the first year of Frank DeBoer, it's going even more downhill. Joseph saved that team. How many games did he score a goal in a row? Like, that team was boring.
15 or something.
It was something ridiculous. That team was boring until it changed, right? Like, and they want to say we wanted to be, fast paced and we wanted to continue scoring goals and all of that. Like, cool. But it didn't happen, and the fans were getting, upset. And then Joseph comes in, he scores nonstop. They change the style of play because Joseph goes off, and they're, a Joseph injury and a PK away from going back to MLS Cup. And then it's just gone downhill from there. And there's got to be sweeping changes. And I'm fine if they want to make sure they get the coaching thing correct and not bring in someone fast, like just bringing someone in. Keep Pineda next year. Don't hurry this process up. And my only hope was that the president was going to come in sooner to see everything. But whatever, that it is what it is. They're taking their time. I'm still holding up that they figure out someone in the next couple weeks, so they can at least be part of some of these decision making that there's going to have at the end of the year. But if not, it is what it is, and we're just going to probably have to have a transition year and go from there.
And I mean, I think that eventually, just with everything that has played out, I just think that the new guy that comes in as a president, I don't think that he will risk just basically turning everything around, or I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just kind of speculating things, in my own personal opinion, but I don't think that, given the fact that with everything that has played out, guys being injured, just I guess people not playing up to their full potential and everything. But I just think that if there's anybody that I think that has to definitely stay, if it comes down to the three, Joseph, Boca, or Pineda, I mean, I think I would rather keep Joseph. I mean, or I don't know, man. That's a tough one, but I think I would rather keep Joseph out of all the three. But I mean, eventually, you just got to see whatever he has left. I mean, if this season you put him in as a starter eventually and he's not even able to finish 60, 70 minutes, then I mean, that he's not the guy anymore. Like, plain and simple. There's just no way that he's gonna come back and compete at a DP level again, and you're basically just gonna have to either negotiate or him being either a super sub or whatever the case may be. But I mean, you just have to change something eventually. I mean, you have to test that out. And I mean, I see Sylph and well, Josh saying over here, Pineda for some reason keeps starting Pineda. Doesn't make sense. And I mean, honestly, the only reason why I feel like this is, Pineda's doing this is just because he's able to give you that, the physicality, I guess, to a certain point, or the runs and the pace. But I don't think that Pineda, I mean, not Pineda, but Cisneros, technically he's not a good forward. He doesn't have a good first touch. His shooting, I mean, he I don't know, man. He's just a poor like technically gifted footballer, if you could call it that.
I think he's the only one that can play 60 minutes. Let's just be honest. I think he's
Yeah.
the only one that can play 60 minutes. I guarantee Joseph Health is not where it needs to be. You said it yourself. He looked winded after playing, X amount of minutes. I just don't think I don't think that he can do it. And I think that their idea is put in the more gifted guy when other players are tired. I mean, do you really want to start a guy that can only play 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and have to sub him in before the first half ends? That's why I think that's where they're at this point. And go to the next comment. We don't know this at all. The false nine thing I can get possibly, but we don't know that Dwyer could play 90 minutes. He's got just as many. I mean, he's got injury problems that he's had over the years as well. I don't think that he was looking for a starting spot when he came here. He knew that he was potentially second or third on the depth chart, and I think that he was fine with that. I think that's why he wanted to come here, because he didn't have to be the starter. Joseph was going to be the starter and going there. Like I think that he's legit the only guy that can do it at this point. I think that's just what we're stuck with is we got two guys that can't play 90 minutes or 60 some minutes, and that's what they're trying to do. And God damn it, we're not playing Eric Lopez. We're not playing Eric Lopez. Wherever he is, he can't even get on the line. He can't even start on the bench.
I know, right?
Get on the bench.
Hey, but honestly, man, if anybody on here has any hope that we're making playoffs, please let me know, because I want to know, like, what is the secret to having so much hope in your life, you know, that you just like possibly. Oh no, trust me. I mean, I'm as positive as I can be, literally, in you know, during the game and after the game, because literally I'm like shit face after every game. But I mean, thanks Atlanta United. You know, I mean, that's what you do, man. That's what you do to us. Literally, we just make us fucking talk shit after you get pissed drunk and talk mad shit on Twitter Spaces. But it is what it is, man.
I mean, I don't, you know, and Pineda finally, I mean, the players are even starting to finally sound defeated with this. I mean, it's a hard schedule. They didn't get early in the season. We talked about it, right? Like they had an easy schedule to start the year. And we knew when we talked about this before the season started, this was the month they had to get all the points, and they didn't get them early on. They screwed up. Yeah, Bo, let's go. But it is what it is at this point. It's a disaster. They didn't bank up the points that they needed to, and we got to go downhill. I mean, it's just what it is. And you know, I mean, Silph says the players are okay with the draw. I mean, Felipe's been arguing that for a while on his athletic, you know, spaces or whatever he does. Like Atlanta United was upset about draws, right? Like that was they weren't happy with getting a draw. And again, oh, see, we're on the same page there. Like Felipe didn't, you know, this team was upset that they had a draw, and now they're just hoping for that at this point, and it's sad. I think with the resources that this team has, and with someone new that comes in that's smart, I think that they can make the changes needed and get this turned around by 20. I mean, what next year is 2023, 2024. I could see us being the team that we need to, but they're going to have to. They've got to make a lot of changes, and the most important change is going to be here by December.
And you know, one thing that I want to bring up, and I mean, I think I did a poll. I mean, I think it was earlier this season. I mean, like early on the season, like April or something like that. And I said, you know, when does everybody, or you know, like the Atlanta United fans, think that Atlanta United will be an MLS contender team, you know, for MLS Cup, basically. Whether you know it'll be this year, whether it'll be in 2 years, whether you know 3 to 4 years, and I think everybody, or I think it was like closer to like 60% or something like that. They were like closer to 2 to 3 years. That's when they see this team, you know, given the fact that they were a young team and everything. And I mean, it makes sense because I mean, you literally have a guy that was coming in here without no manager experience whatsoever, and it just changes like the whole aspect, because it's a guy that's literally like learning, like as he goes on. He As much as he may know the league because he's been an assistant coach, I feel like overall he just doesn't have an understanding of like how it comes to like managing big time players, or not big time players, but like players that have a lot of ego, like Joseph Martinez, basically.
You need to change the culture. I think you do. And Joseph on a team of veterans that all grew up, grew within the organization, I think was great. But now you got an entire new group of people, and they've got this guy telling them what to do and screaming at him, and he can't do it right now. I mean, he's doing something, but it's not. If he can't play all the time, I don't know. I think you need a fresh start in that locker room in general. I mean, first change is president, which is obviously you're forced to, and then it's changing Carlos. Um, the guy that comes in that could be president could be Boca as well. You've got guys in MLS that do both, right? The president and that. So you can have that, and obviously
Don't
you'll have
even
Boca
say
running.
that, Tommy. Come on, man.
What?
That don't bring that bad juju here, man.
What?
That Boca's gonna be president as well,
No,
man.
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the person you bring in can be president
Man,
and the
my bad.
Boca role,
I
right?
misheard you, bro. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no, 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 no. But like he could be both. You've got guys in MLS that do both now. But again, with the timing of what they're planning for this hire, if they truly do not bring anybody in until late December, you don't have time to bring in a coach. I don't think that you do. I mean, you could obviously possibly hold over some staff and to help out with that process. You can keep Rob, I guess, and hope that Rob does something right now. But you don't want to rush that. I understand how everybody wants to make things better right away. I don't think it's going to happen immediately. And everybody wants the right thing. You don't want to rush it. Whoever comes in, we've got to give them some time to fix some stuff because there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. There's a lot of players that need to get moved. You got to be careful with everything. And, one thing that could really screw things up here, and I'll just finish with this, is, I was going back to the U22 rules. With the age of Almada being a DP, if Almada leaves, you are going to have to immediately bring in, at least from my understanding of reading it, you're going to have to bring in another DP under whatever X age it is to be able to maintain your 3 U22 spots. You get 3 U22 spots if one of your DPs is under the age of X amount. So if Almada, God forbid, somebody buys him out, you are going to have to bring in somebody. If you want to continue to hold those 3 U22 spots, you are going to have to immediately bring in a DP that's under X amount of age. So just something to think about, as probably we know how MLS is and we know how, transfer windows work. There's going to be 100 rumors going around in the winter. So just something to think about as we wrap this season up, because I just wish it'd be over at this point in time. Like I am exhausted after watching some of these games. I feel numb.
It is like really like, dude, honestly, if you're an Atlanta United like actual fan and you watch like every 90 minutes of the game, dude, man, hats off to you, my brother, because honestly, it's definitely been a season to fucking forget, if anything. Like seriously. Like we have people getting arrested, we have tables getting flipped over with chicken and rice,
Oh, the chicken and rice, man.
we have we have freaking ankles, or not ankles. We have Achilles tendons being taken out. We have ACLs taken out. And damn, the ghost came out. Hey, James.
Did your power go out? Where's all your lights?
What's up?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just literally here, like just
on
I know,
time,
right?
man.
Where the hell are the lights?
I just got home. I'm not even kidding. Here to save the show.
We don't need saving. Atlanta United needs saving.
Hey, definitely.
There you go.
That's what we need. We need immediate saving.
I mean, like, I don't know. Who do we even play on this weekend? I don't even know.
Toronto,
the guy that's
man.
starting for the Qs today.
We're playing
Conway. I don't know if that's his middle name, but
we're playing Italy FC. That's what we're playing.
Shit. Hey, we'll be all right. I mean, fuck, man.
We're gonna be all right because we're all numb to this. Like,
it's bad when I don't even know who we're playing, and I'm going to the game. It's bad. It's
a 7:30 night. It's a 7:30 game, so it's gonna be a late one.
I'll be there.
Bedtime.
All 90 minutes.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm kind of glad that I'm going out of town and I'm going to this concert, and I'm probably gonna end up getting pretty messed up. And hey, man, I'm not even going to like watch the game. I'm not gonna be in Twitter Spaces after nothing, man. I'm just going.
You two and your concert.
I literally need a weekend away from Atlanta United. So if next week I come here like not knowing what the hell I'm talking about, just because eventually I'm just gonna end up watching highlights or something, then
we don't even need to talk about the game at this point. I mean, I love it though. Today was
found my Vegas ticket. I found when I was in Vegas before the season started. I made a $20 bet. Atlanta United win MLS Cup. I just looked at it. And I was like, I just ripped it up. I was like,
somewhere.
Ripped it up.
But seriously, what was I gonna say? All right, whatever. But I mean, yeah. Oh, when I saw the Joseph news, when I looked on my phone, I just burst out laughing. That was the funniest shit I've read in a long time, and I love it. I don't care.
What do you think about the chicken and rice?
That was the funniest thing I've ever read. I was like, I love that, and I love that he got suspended for it too. That's lovely. Because who cares anymore? You suspend a player, a designated player during fucking playoff rush. That's what I love to see.
Yeah. My argument would be that it needed to be done.
If Pineda and Boca are still here next year, it's just the matter of fact. I will show up to every podcast. Like, I don't even know. It's terrible.
You got to suspend a player. I don't. If you put your hands on a coach, the flipping the table thing.
Did he touch a coach?
That's what it said.
It said
there was a physical altercation.
Take him out while we can.
Now, if he flipped the table and they suspended for that, I 100% agree with you. But if it's true, and he got physical and put his hands on Pineda, then he deserves to be suspended.
Is that put his hands on him? Like, what the fuck are you doing? I mean,
and you can't, and then I see comments. Well, Pineda's tactics suck, so no wonder he put his hands on him. Like, come on, bro. Like, you don't put your hands on the guy. That's just stupid.
It's too far, but I mean. I don't know the state of this club, man, and the fact that he's
Put the last comment up. I would say it's Joseph because I'm sure Joseph's boxing tactics are better than Pineda's.
There you go.
I think there's actually like a video of Joseph like boxing, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've seen it on his Instagram one time
when he was coming back from the injury.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no.
Yep.
Get him out.
Them hands. Yeah, I don't know how far. I don't know, man. It maybe could have just been some pushing and shoving around, but still, man. I personally, if you're running an organization, definitely there's some behavior you just don't condone. Basically, I mean, personally, yeah. I mean, man, I'm gonna tell you one time, literally, man. I got into like a fight with one of my teammates, right? Like literally during practice, like, and I'm talking about like high school practice, bro. So like the coach, like the next day he comes like talking to us and he's like, hey man, so whether you two guys want to be like back in the team and all this, like I'm gonna need you like, to get your like act together and like, not only like like commit that, this is not gonna happen again, but as well, like, he just like started giving out the speech, but just making things shorter. We had to basically go in front of the team and like, like had to apologize and we had to like literally just get ripped like by penalties, like facing backwards on goal, by like the rest of the team. And hey man, like look man, I'm not saying that it was right or wrong, from us, but like, hey man, you have an action that's is not positive towards the team, then man, I completely agree with like having some type of like repercussion. So
Yeah,
I mean I definitely don't.
If it turned out, let's say if it was Arujo, who everyone hates for some reason, I'm still like, if it gets to that point where a player is doing that, it's pretty damn silly. And I mean, imagine if it was a non-likable player, it would be ugly. Get by all these dumb people. That was his punishment to go to the Georgia Tech game. That was, I mean, that game was dog crap.
What do you have to say about the game this weekend, Tommy?
Fuck you.
Score prediction, dude. I don't even.
Wait, are you talking about the Georgia Oregon game?
Oh, the Georgia Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, realistically, I didn't think they were going to win. I mean, Georgia, I still think is the number one team in the country. I think they're better than Alabama. But if I'm not going to talk shit when my team plays a team once every 10 years or 20 years, I'm not doing sports right. So, of course, I had to come on here wearing my jersey.
Damn.
It's back there, Chris, with all the other jerseys that I have. So suck it. Suck it, Chris. Suck it, Josh.
I can't find my jerseys, but all I know is that the Carolina Panthers will be your NFC South champions.
What?
In 2022.
Baker Mayfield? I've dealt with Baker Mayfield here in Cleveland. I've dealt with way too much of Baker
Mayfield.
Oh,
we're coming for your ass this Sunday, boy.
I hope the Falcons lose every game this year. They need to get they need to get as many draft
picks. Baker Mayfield is playing the Browns on Sunday, and he is going to absolutely demolish. All right, whatever. Enough football.
Well, I will. The only game I'm excited about for the rest of the year is I will be in Atlanta for the last road game. Of course, they're not even in town, which is good because I don't want to cry at the Benz twice in a weekend. But I will be in town for the Browns Falcons game for my 40th and in a month. So I don't know. I don't know where I'll be, but I'll hit up some watch party so people are around that weekend. I think we're playing New England on the road. I'll be somewhere just drinking and watching the game and probably crying. And
what weekend is it?
The first weekend of October. It's like October 1st.
I think live podcast, live watch along. We watched the New England match, and we watched this fucking terrible shit. I mean, I'm
hey man, last thing, man, predictions versus Toronto.
No arrests. No, there's gonna be no arrests for the remaining of the week. Oh God! If someone gets arrested, oh man,
dude, I would love it. I love what's going on right now. It's absolutely, it's beautiful. It's what needs to happen. This is great. This solidifies that something has to be done. Miles Robinson, that was the best arrest possible because he shouldn't have been arrested. And Martinez, he took matters into his own hands. And I want another fun news story. That's what I'm waiting for. Something fun.
Well, my predictions are the Falcons are going to lose 24-10, and Atlanta United loses 4-1 against Toronto.
4-1 at home, dude. I don't even know what I'm going to do at the game. Am I just going to sit there and watch or something?
Eat pizza, be part of Toronto. Be like, what a golini, what a golini.
I might just run a 5K inside of the stadium or something, or just walk around.
Go to the top. Go to the field.
Probably closed off.
No, the field up there. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I guess they're probably not open up there.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I do a lot. I walk around the stadium at halftime. It's very fun. That stadium is beautiful, man. It's crazy.
It's my, I'm bringing 20 Browns fans with me to Atlanta, and this was one of the
Ruckus.
stadiums everybody wanted to see. So we've been talking about this game now for 4 years. So it's pretty exciting bringing everybody with me.
Yeah, we got to get the DOI in there somewhere. Oh wait, Alvin Kamara? I don't know, bro. Give me Najee Harris and a couple goodies, and yeah, I got you.
All
Hey
right,
man, I don't know if anybody's actually like keeping up with the U.S. Open Cup final, but
I got
Orlando, like they're 0-0 with Sacramento. I mean, I'm like here watching. Hey man, let's go Sacramento.
Dude,
if Sacramento wins, that's going to be awesome. They cheated and lost, and a team that's not even MLS wins Open Cup. I mean, that's what you gotta root for that. Like that's just the season that's. You know what's worse? Like I thought about this today. We're going to be shitty next year, and we've got to go deal with Nations League.
dude, it's gonna be so insufferable.
You're
Dude,
so right.
I mean,
That's right.
I thought about that this morning.
We could be good next year. Like
you can't.
I doubt it.
You can't
depends
turn
on
over the full roster.
Not the whole roster. We need a little bit, but I mean, shit, we need a lot. Actually, dude, we're screwed. Is it personnel? Is it personnel at this point though? The way we play, that players are turning around on the midfield on like a 4-on-4 counter. Is that personnel?
I mean, I know you were late to class, so you've missed some things, but I mean, one of the things I brought up was we talked about Arujo and like, is it the system? Is it whatever? And Arujo should have scored a goal in that first half.
Absolutely.
And he completely missed it. And then Cisneros should have finished it too when he had the rebound, and he couldn't do it either. So it's not this. I agree that part of it is some of the system, but either these players are just broken from the season, just being so shitty.
Yeah.
Or it's. I honestly, I just keep saying it's D all the above. Literally everything is wrong with this franchise right now.
To be fair, like I said it all year. Yeah, we're putting up 20 shots a game. We have like 10 on target every game. It's not falling, but it's been all year, and it's silly. But I'm not gonna predict. I don't even care. I hope we win though. I really hope we win. Obviously, and that's.
I want that number one MLS super draft pick. I mean, that would be nice, right?
Yeah, we could take for that. I mean, we'll get a Adidas generational guy. I mean, it's not like Centeno's doing anything anyway. He's kind of trash, but
I've been asking Sam from Dirty South Soccer to do a mock draft, but he keeps ignoring me. So,
wow, that's your own company too.
I'm trying to get him to do it. He won't. He won't do it. But I'll get him to do it by as soon as the season's over. I'll do it. This fantasy football, God, this season's gone downhill. We're doing.
Zilf, are you kidding me, bro? Ezekiel Elliott and Rashad Penny for top 10 running back? Get out of here! Come on, hit the dust. Yeah. I want Najee Harris and a couple of goodies. That's what I said. Thank you.
This is going downhill so quick,
dude. No, I love this. This is better than talking about this insufferable franchise, man.
All right, I'm gonna go watch wrestling here and continue drinking.
Maybe we can play like Club America or something. That would be fun to watch. Or Pachuca next year.
Anything is better, man.
But
anything is better at this point.
I hope we win this weekend. It'll be fun. I bet the people watching on TV hope we freaking lose 10-0, but I mean,
it's not national TV anymore.
Oh, quick note: there was we had our season ticket relocation thing today, so I just looked at it, and there's a lot of places that are empty. There's a lot of people opting out, which is great. I love that. So,
I mean,
I'm not moving anywhere from the seats. So.
Production going down.
That's good. Arthur Blank
what happens.
Pull the plug on everybody.
Well, guys, we actually been here more than an hour, but if anything,
we didn't even talk about Miles.
We didn't. All right, let's talk about it.
No, we don't need to talk about it.
Are you guys
didn't pay
busy?
for a $5 shot.
You guys are busy.
I mean, we technically got
You have stuff
into
to
it,
do.
but
I'm
we
doing
ain't got
nothing.
too much into it.
I can sit here all night. I don't care.
I mean, literally. I mean, just how do you go about calling, the comps over a $5 shot?
It's a racist sport, man.
And literally you're getting accused because you mistreated the client in a racist way, apparently.
That's Cobb County, man. That's what they do.
Well, it'll, something minor like that'll get, off his record
Yeah, it doesn't even
sooner
it
than
doesn't
later.
matter.
Whatever. I mean, he'll just pay the fine and it'll go away.
Yeah.
From there, it's not like you got a DUI or something, and stupid.
That doesn't matter either. Just
Hit him with the Ozuna. Hey,
Actually, so there's a law, because I got a buddy. We were supposed to go to the Falcons Buffalo game, and we ended up not going because in Canada you can't enter Canada if you have a DUI. And I don't know how long that stays on your record, but for somebody that plays in the World Cup in 4 years, I don't know how long it takes to get off your record from there, but it could matter if it was a DUI, but it's not. So that's not even the world here. But yeah, Josh, and they're probably like, "What does that mean?"
Josh, as someone not from Cobb County, I can slander Cobb County all day. Disgusting.
All right, but see, Bo's watching AEW. I'm watching AEW too. Bo, I've been watching it the entire time. I'm just trying to distract myself.
multitask.
Yeah, that's good. At least you're still watching it.
Yeah, I'm at my downstairs bar, so that's all I need.
Wednesday Night Raw or something.
Wednesday Night Raw.
I know it's Monday. I know that at least.
Oh man! All right, man.
All right, I'm gonna go on
head out,
Facebook
guys.
and talk about hockey now,
Thank you
so.
for the guys that are are usually here. Follow these guys at James, Kyle Miss 26, Tommy, Let's Go Ducks 96, and myself at Resurge Spike ATL, and don't forget to subscribe and follow our content, and we'll be here next week, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this.